Living to be 92 brings a very specific kind of heartbreak that I wouldn't wish on anyone. It's the profound, echoing loneliness of outliving almost everyone you have ever deeply loved. When my mother was 89, a severe stroke suddenly stole her voice. For 3 agonizing years after that, we sat together in a heavy, painful silence, constantly second-guessing what she truly wanted or needed. It broke my heart every single day. Please, do not wait until it is too late to have the conversations that matter. Don't wait until the silence becomes permanent. Today, right here on Back to the Past, I want to share 10 essential life lessons with you, things I desperately wish I had fully understood back when I was in my 50s or 60s. Lesson number 1, your muscle and bones simply do not wait for you. I remember being 62 and effortlessly walking 3 miles every single morning. It felt like a baseline, a standard level of fitness that I assumed my body would just always maintain. Because of that assumption, I didn't actively work to protect it. By the time I turned 80, just climbing the wooden stairs to my own bedroom felt like summiting a mountain. Here is the harsh, unavoidable truth about aging. Once you cross into your 60s, the physical strength and bone density you lose are incredibly difficult and sometimes impossible to earn back. Do not take your current mobility for granted. You must train, stretch, and challenge yourself right now, while your body still has the grace to respond to your efforts. But physical decline is only half of the story. Lesson number 2 is that your mental and emotional resilience is the absolute foundation of your freedom. There's a very specific, quiet terror in realizing that your mind is still completely sharp, vibrant, and full of plans, while your physical body has permanently surrendered. It feels like being a prisoner trapped inside a cage made of your own fading strength. You have to actively nurture your mental health and find a sense of peace with the aging process long before you are forced to. Protect your mind just as fiercely as you protect your joints, because true, lasting independence always starts from within. Lesson number 3, you are going to need a much wider circle of friends than you currently think is necessary. For over 30 years, I had my Tuesday girls. We were a tight-knit group of 5 women who shared every secret, every heartbreak, and every milestone over weekly coffee. But the unforgiving reality of aging is attrition. One by one, sickness and time took them from me. Now I am the only one left. There is a very specific, quiet grief in being the last one standing, realizing that there is no one left on earth who remembers what you were like when you were young, foolish, and fiercely alive. My advice to you is this: intentionally build friendships with people who are 10, 20, or even 30 years younger than you. You need people who will carry your memory forward and who will bring the vibrant, messy energy of the present into your quietest days. That brings me to lesson number 4, and this is a bitter truth I had to learn the hard way. Your presence is infinitely more valuable than your advice. When my children were navigating their own marriages and careers, I constantly fell into the trap of playing the wise elder. I offered unsolicited solutions, thinking my decades of experience gave me the right to lecture them. I was wrong. I spent so much time trying to be their life coach that I forgot to just be their mother. When the heavy storms of life hit your children, they aren't looking for a seasoned consultant to fix their problems. They are looking for a safe harbor. They just want you to sit beside them, hold their hand, and listen without judgment. Stop trying to manage their lives and simply offer them the unwavering comfort of your presence. Lesson number 5, having those uncomfortable, so-called morbid conversations about the end of your life while you are still perfectly healthy is actually one of the most profound acts of love you can ever give your family. I witnessed the absolute chaos that unfolded when a dear friend passed away without warning. Her children were left completely in the dark, frantically tearing through drawers for a will, guessing at digital passwords, and agonizing over what her final wishes might have actually been. It added a heavy layer of trauma during a time when they just desperately needed to grieve. Please do not leave your children stumbling in the shadows. Be entirely transparent about your finances, organize your documents, and clearly state your final wishes right now, while your voice is still strong. This leads directly to lesson number 6, which took me far too long to understand. Money is nothing more than a tool to facilitate your life's experiences. My generation was raised to hoard every single penny for a rainy day. But I watched so many of my peers skip the trips they dreamed of in their 60s, obsessively saving for a future that never truly arrived. Now in our 80s and 90s, many of them have bank accounts full of untouched money, but they no longer have the legs, the breath, or the stamina to explore the world. Stop saving every last dime for a tomorrow that is never guaranteed. If you have the means in your 60s, take the trip. Book the flight. Create the memory. All the wealth in the world cannot buy back your mobility once it is gone. Lesson number 7. Retirement is rarely just a long vacation. It is almost always a profound identity crisis. For decades, I introduced myself to the world entirely by my job title. When that finally ended, I spent 3 grueling years feeling completely useless, battling a dark depression because I literally did not know who I was without my career. When you strip away the meetings, the status, and the daily validation, the silence left behind can be deafening. My advice to you is to start exploring new passions and stay fiercely eager to learn while you are still in your 50s. Dive into new hobbies, embrace the thrill of discovering new places, or find meaningful ways to help others in your community. Do not let your retirement day be the exact moment you realize you have become a blank slate. You must build an identity that outlives your resume. And that brings me to lesson number 8, learn to forgive, if only for your own peace of mind. For years, I held on to a bitter, stubborn feud with my older brother over a trivial family misunderstanding. I was absolutely determined to prove that I was right. I held my ground right up until the day I received the call that his heart had suddenly failed. Standing at his funeral, I realized with crushing clarity that being right is utterly worthless when you can no longer pick up the phone and hear their voice. Do not carry the heavy, exhausting weight of resentment into your final chapters. Make the call. Choose love over pride, because time will eventually steal the opportunity away from you. Lesson number 9. Every single fear you are harboring about the future will eventually arrive at your doorstep, but I promise you, you are going to be okay. For decades, I was absolutely terrified of the dark unknown. I was terrified of outliving my husband, of the crushing weight of loneliness, and of facing my own mortality. But here is the profound truth about human resilience. When the things you dread finally happen, the agonizing anticipation shatters, and you are simply left with reality. And reality is something you can actually navigate. You will discover a quiet, enduring strength within yourself that you never knew existed. You learn to embrace the solitude, to remain fiercely positive, and to hold on to a deep, abiding love for life, even when the house is entirely empty. The hardship doesn't destroy you. It simply reveals the absolute depth of your own power. And finally, lesson number 10. You must understand the terrifying, beautiful speed of time. When you are young, everything is a profound discovery, so your brain stretches time out to record every vivid new detail. But once you settle into your adult routines, the same predictable schedule, the same commute, the same weekends, the law of repetition takes over. Your brain goes into autopilot, and time begins to brutally accelerate. That is exactly why the 30 years between 60 and 90 will seem to vanish twice as fast as the first 60 years of your life. The only way to hit the brakes is to aggressively seek out the unfamiliar. You must keep exploring, stay eager to learn, and force yourself out of your comfortable patterns. If you don't break the cycle of repetition, you will blink, and a decade will have slipped through your fingers. My husband passed away on a random afternoon in the middle of a local hardware store, standing right there among the cold, lifeless PVC pipes. There was no grand farewell, no warning, and no time to say all the things we had saved for later. That is the brutal, unforgiving reality of our existence. Life simply does not wait for you to be ready. It doesn't pause while you finish your endless to-do list, and it certainly doesn't wait for the day you finally feel prepared to start enjoying it. If I could somehow reach back through the decades, if I could grab my 60-year-old self by the shoulders, I would hold on tight and I would scream, "Wake up! Wake up and actually live right now. Much is done and sen. Shall me to mellow." I would tell her to stop waiting for the perfect tomorrow to start exploring the world. I would tell her to remain strong, to stay fiercely positive, and to hold on to a deep, unwavering love for life, no matter what unexpected challenges come her way. Please do not waste these incredibly precious years assuming you have an endless supply of time left on the clock. You don't. Your 60s and 70s are a fleeting golden window where you still have the physical health to perfectly match your hard-earned wisdom. I am sitting here sharing this with you because I desperately hope you hear this message and truly internalize it before it is too late. Your life is happening right now. Please go out there and live it.